based camp with Simone and Malcolm Collins. Actually, one of my favorite channels on one of my favorite channels on the YouTube, and I actually watch them at like almost every day, because I just love like hearing their takes and then like letting them bounce around in my head and like analyze them. Like it's so fun, and they have like a huge backlog of content. But you want to know the funny thing is I've heard a lot of people criticize them, and the criticism is literally like, it's the funniest thing. The criticism I've seen is like, they're not Christian. They're not Christian enough. And I'm like, so like everything they say is wrong because of that? Like, okay. Sounds very woke to me. But anyway.
Hello, Simone.
Blah! VTubers have transformed the right forever. The nerdification of the right.
Hello, Simone. I'm excited to be here with you today. Today we are going to be talking about an interesting phenomenon that came from a viral moment that Asmongold got himself into.
I love how nerdy they dress. Like, honestly, like, this is so fucking peak. Like, look how they dress. It's so peak. It's absolute peak.
Asmongold was, I think, reacting to a tweet, and the tweet said something like, "There is no point to male."
Wait, they're Christians? No, not really. They think Christianity is good in general, but they're not really. I don't think they know a lot about Christianity, but I don't think they are
VTubers. And Asmongold said,
I'm pretty sure they're not, actually.
This is true. And then he went further, which is to say, the key benefit of VTubing for women is, he said, it's like this crazy hack that they found out where you can be a hot woman without having
They're definitely not Catholic. If there is one thing that they're not, it's not Catholic.
Be a hot woman. And then he said the thing that was controversial, but many female VTubers have reacted to this and been like, but this isn't controversial, it's just true. Which he said is, if you look at not hot female influencers, the vast majority of them are VTubers. So to the extent that
okay, oh, sorry, let's actually listen to what they have to say rather than discussing their religion. But no, I don't think they consider themselves Christian. I don't think so. No. I know for a fact they don't consider themselves Catholic. That one's for sure, but I don't think so.
Which is to say, the key benefit of VTubing for women is, he said, it's like this crazy hack that they found out where you can be a hot woman without having to be a hot woman. And then he said the thing that was controversial, but many female VTubers have reacted to this and been like, but this isn't controversial, it's just true. Which he said is, if you look at not hot female influencers, the vast majority of them are VTubers. So to the extent that almost all of them are VTubers, right? To be clear, I am not saying that VTubers are predominantly unattractive. I actually do not think that this is the case. I think that they're well more attractive than the average person. Like, they're real people are more attractive than the average person. But we lived in an era where women who were, let's say, top 25%, but not top 10% of attractiveness were frozen out of being able to start to rise as intellectual influencers. And this doesn't just have to do with genetics. It was also really any woman who was over the age of 25 was frozen out of being able to rise as an intellectual influencer because men think younger women are attractive, generally speaking. And it's worse than all of that, because even if a woman is in the top 5% of attractiveness,
it's actually true,
but
though.
she is shy, or she is...
It's actually true, though, that it's like I said, I had a friend that was like, that did this too, where I thought they were like incredibly, I had a friend I thought was incredibly entertaining, but like their face cam was holding them back, I said, and I told them that. I told them, you should VTube, and then they VTubed and they popped off.
insecure and doesn't want people criticizing her looks, because that is a normal thing for conservatives to do, to immediately go after a woman's looks if they don't like her ideas. She would not attempt to rise. And VTubers as a concept, allowing this, completely transformed that.
How would you know?
She's a 5 or probably a 6. I said like 4. Like 4 to 5 probably.
Aren't most VTubers good at concealing their
leaks.
identity?
There's leaks all the time.
Can you put like images on screens of like the person next to their VTuber persona, or just give me their name so I can do it and then give it to you?
No. We're not going to do that. And the reason I'm not going to do that is because the leaks are typically unintentional, and that's mean.
Oh, okay.
Give yourself more, bitch. Nah.
I mean, are you saying like non-Instagram filter ugly?
Guys, I'm not saying that to like, I don't care. I really don't care what people think about how I look. I'm past that. I don't give a shit anymore. Anonymous, thanks for the gift sub to Anna, thank you.
Or do you mean like?
Well, this is where we're getting to the point. The point I wanted to talk about.
Do they look like me? Because, you know, there's like Thought Hot and then...
But the point I was going to make was that this phenomenon that he is pointing out has actually completely changed the online conversation in the internet right. It has changed the tone of it.
Festival says some VTubers do show themselves, but it's going to be the ones who are more confident in their appearance already. Well, I talked about this before, and I already talked about this before. Like for me, it wouldn't even matter. It wouldn't even matter. And the reason why is because anything I could possibly show you is worse than anime. Like, even if I was like the hottest girl in VTubing, it would still be worse than anime. Because my entire aesthetic is anime, so it doesn't matter. This is why, like I said, I would probably never do anything like that, because it's just like anime is just better than everything.
It has changed the factions that are ideologically winning within it, and I want to go into how this happened, like how things are changing because of VTubers, and it comes fundamentally down to Asmongold's observation. So to not extract
this is about that. This is about the Asmongold thing.
And we go to the pre-VTubing days of the online right. So we've got to first talk about a bit about the online right. We have one history on how the online right evolved from edgy atheists, which is weird, but it did. It originally started as the skeptic community, if you go back to like when I was a kid, right? And some online YouTubers, like
everyone knows Leaflit is an attractive man rather than a hot woman. Yaranaika.
You see their career evolve through each of these phases of the online right. Back then, it was not right-leaning at all. These people got tired of dunking on Christians because really there weren't that much of them, and the arguments, you know, they weren't as fun. Like the gotchas weren't as fun. Yeah, it was much more fun to dunk on feminists, right? And then dunking on feminists turned into dunking on wokeness, which then sorted its way into the Gamergate and all of that, and then the mainstream online right now, right? And we point out that this is what makes up the new right. Ideologically, this group is obviously going to crash with the legacy right, because this is a community that has, you know, like most of our crusades, as the movement was being radicalized into a right-wing movement, were about stuff like decensoring sexy female video game characters and stuff like that, right? Like arguing against bad faith, against too much violence online and stuff like that, which really is completely the opposite perspective of a lot of the legacy right, which was like, we need to ban rap music, it's too violent, and ban GTA. And so this is where part of the right's inversion came from. But during this period,
it's like I told you, like a lot of people on the right are also incredibly gay. Like there's quangos in the right as well. Like, I've been saying this.
Did not have that many.
What is he wearing? Dude, like a badass outfit. Their outfits are so badass. What the hell?
Female influencers within this movement. With the probably biggest female influencer in this movement being a socialist. And here I'm speaking, of course, of Shoe on Head, where she is often lumped in as part of this larger ideological movement by her detractors when she is just solidly leftist, like, and really like tries to remind people.
She is
like,
pretty fucking hot, though.
I know I said this Trump policy was reasonable. I'm still a socialist. I'm just trying to be sane here, people. Like, I don't.
And a Catholic socialist too. She made it very clear she was a practicing Catholic again recently.
Yeah, she did say she's a practicing Catholic. So Catholic and socialist. Can you get more leftist? Sorry, I know I just. I'm joking. For people who don't know, traditionally the Democratic Party was seen as the Catholic Party. Like,
come on, Kennedy, our first Catholic president. Yeah.
Well, Joe Biden.
Catholic. Yeah, totally.
It's a good point. It's true.
And not just that, but if you look at voting lines historically, they were really tied to the percent Catholic a district was. Even today, if you look at U.S. states and districts by percent Catholic. Now, this isn't to say that Catholics.
I mean, the map shows it. I mean,
vote Democrat anymore. I think in the last election was the first election where they voted conservative overwhelmingly. Or not overwhelmingly, by a small margin, but yeah. But to continue here, I don't want to get on too much of it. But the few influencers we did have in the right who were women had the number one hallmark of beauty, which a lot of people are like. This reminds me of a time I went with Simone. And she doesn't believe me because I'm like, Simone, you're actually extremely attractive for your age. And many of the times when you think someone is more attractive than you, they are just younger. And the night where I think I really broke you on this is we were at a club and you had to have an X on your hand if you were under drinking age. And I was like, look around the club and find anyone you think is more attractive than you, and then check if they have an X on their hand. And so you look around for your age. Every single time they had
well, like, age is directly tied to hotness for women. It's just true, right? And the one thing I really like about Based Camp is they just fucking tell the truth. There's like none of this like kind of tiptoeing around the issue. Like, they just tell the truth. And the truth is, it's very, very tied. Like, hotness is directly tied with age, and it's like, it's really a short window of time for like peak hotness, basically. Hey, 30s are in, Tazuto? Yes, but 30s are not in because of hotness. They're in because people who are younger are fucking insane. That's why. That's the reason why 30s are in. It's because no one wants to deal with that shit.
An X on their hand. Like, they weren't just a little bit younger than you. They were significantly younger than you.
Yeah, there was also that time we were sharing a table at a dinner, like at a restaurant, and there were 3 people sitting right next to us. And I thought,
Tazuto, you're fucking outside of your mind. You're saying that there's a lot of hot people in their 30s, but like compared to hot people in like their 20s, early 20s, it's like not even close, bro. Like, dude, you're coping so hard. There's no way. This is toxic positivity, Tazuto. Your fractal wrongness is like spilling into other categories.
There were a group of friends and like just 2 less attractive ones and then 1 attractive woman. And it just turned out that it was parents and their teenage daughter. And I thought she was like 25, but no.
Yeah, Gen Z looks old these days.
Old. She was like 16 years old.
Is this
and
true?
She was like,
is this true? Do Gen Z women look old? How did that happen? How does that occur?
God.
And you know, you as a girl saying this, imagine I as a guy said this about a girl. I saw a girl, didn't realize she was 16 and thought she was hot. No, but it's actually, this is, guys get in trouble for like the dumbest stuff. You can't tell somebody's age easily.
That's actually so true. That part is so bullshit. Where there'll be like a girl and then like a guy will be like, yeah, she's hot. And it's like, oh my God, gross. She's actually 16. It's like, what the fuck? How are you supposed to know? Like, that's actually a really good point that Malcolm's making.
Just by looking at
I
them.
guess some people kind of can. There's a, not to, okay, we're going to get right back on track after this, but there's this reality TV show that I think Netflix.
I mean, like, obviously there's like a point in which she's obviously underage. Like, there's obviously like a point there, but like when it comes to like 16 to 18 or even 15 in like some cases of like some girls that develop like really fast, like it's kind of hard to tell.
Recently produced where people date, but they're not allowed to say how old they are. And then they end up coupling and then they reveal their age. And there are some people who are very easy to guess and other people where it's like, nope, he was 60. So yeah, it's really difficult. It's really difficult.
That is wild. Okay. Well, I think our ages are hard to guess for people. I think a lot of our fans
chime in the comments. Chime in the comments. What's your guess?
How old do you think they are, chat? Let's hear the guesses. How old are they? Interesting.
What's your guess? And then you can Google it. But I think
it's on our Wikipedia page. Yeah.
Probably get our ages wrong by they might get it from context clues because I'll talk about like shows from my childhood or something like that.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, Malcolm, you're not old enough to have watched those shows.
Well,
do you see the new Phoenix Feather Greens in Rogan's shop? They're selling out everywhere.
All right. Okay. Sage Money, thank you for the 100 earlier again. Thank you so much. And let's see. All right. Okay. Let's continue.
If you're aware that like there were
God, we're only 8 minutes in.
For example, I feel like that's kind of a tell.
Oh yeah, I started giving that away with that community because that's quite an old community, the internet skeptic community.
Yeah, seriously, that super ages you. Anyway, I'm curious. Anyway, back on track. Yeah. So women.
Big community of like internet edgy kids online who would go in to like argue with random Christians. But no, so what this meant is that the women who rose in terms of mental space within the conservative influencer scene historically have been very, very young. A good example of this is somebody like Pearl Davis.
That's true.
Pearl Davis was, I want to say like
very
16.
early 20s when she started. Yeah. Well, I mean, she's been trying for a long time, but yeah, when she got big, she started growing.
But yeah, she's very, very, very young. And Shuan Head too. When Shuan Head grew, she was very young. Yeah. She must have been like but she's been around for a long time. But like when she started to gain in popularity, I want to say she must have been 18, 19, something like that.
Well, and Jenny Nicholson was in her early 20s, I think, when she first started getting.
Yeah, but Jenny Nicholson is not right wing. Jenny Nicholson complains.
Oh, we're talking about right wing women. Oh, I don't know.
Right wing.
But still, Brett Cooper, young.
Brett Cooper was fairly young. Yeah.
That other blonde, Beth Allie Stuckley or whatever. Yeah, she was also
the only right wing female influencer I can think of who isn't young and is big within online spaces is that one who at Hereticon she introduced us.
The comedian. Yeah.
God, what's her name?
We're so bad with names, and she's so cool. I was just watching one of her videos. Oh well, we suck.
See if you can find it, send it to me because I like her content and I actually recommend it to people who like our content. I think she's very similar in theming, editing, length.
In my watch history.
And also, she's someone who I wouldn't consider an exceptionally beautiful woman who has risen within.
No, she's pretty. What's wrong?
No, she's attractive. She's certainly like a normal, but she looks like her age.
Oh, she's not 25. Yeah, I mean, like,
but
probably like younger than her age. Who knows how old?
That's the context of it, though, right? It's the context of like how people see it. So like, you might not think. You might think like, oh, like she's fine, right? Like she looks fine. She looks good. But within the context of the internet, right? If you were to think about how the internet would perceive people, they would not consider her to be pretty in terms of like, again, because the internet has people of all ages. Like they wouldn't consider that. It makes sense.
But the point I'm making here is for a long time in conservative spaces, women are already at a lower level within conservative spaces. And any woman who was not young, and keep in mind what young often means. It means that you're often overly impressionable, like you haven't had time to come up with your own ideas yet. So you often end up parroting the ideas that you hear around you. So like an example of this, right? Like I really like Pearl Davis as a person. I like a lot of her content.
And by what it's British, it's Bridget Fetisy.
Bridget Fetisy.
Phetsy.
Yeah. But yeah, so I like Pearl Davis, but I think anyone who is examining Pearl Davis's intellectual career with honesty would say that in the beginning of her career, many of her ideas were basically the ideas that were around her in sort of like the intellectual, edgy, right-leaning circles. But she was young. You know, this is what you expect from a guy or a girl who is at that age, right?
Mhm.
But guys in the conservative scene have been able to become influencers at any age, whereas girls, we were selecting for
that, and also since so men don't care about age when it comes to men. In fact, the older they are, it's probably better in terms of seeking mentorship, right? Because people would see it that way. And on top of that, men don't really care about the appearances of other men typically. And women don't care either in terms of like the appearance. The value of men is not fully loaded in appearance. What I mean by that is societal, like how the societal perception of value. I don't mean my perception of value. I mean societally, like what the typical person would consider to be the value of a person. For women, it's a lot more appearance based, whereas men, it's a lot more merit based.
only the young.
Which is why men can, in the future, retain value because they're, as men grow older, their access to resources is higher based on just being able to have longer amounts of time to accrue on power.
Girls, so they weren't really bringing in a unique female perspective to things, right?
Merit can include appearance, yes, but so here's like a thing, like let's be like perfectly honest here, all right? Like let's just be perfectly honest. When it comes to men seeking value in women, it's almost entirely based on appearance. In fact, when considering a woman for and this is like primarily for the initial impression. The initial impression, right, is like when you're scrolling through like a streams, right, or like in terms of discoverability, the appearance matters like a lot in terms of discoverability. And shit, where was I going with this? I lost the thread. Right. But when it comes to relationship value, men don't really value, most men don't really value ideas as much. In fact, I think for some people, ideas would be a detraction, actually.
Second, they're not as intellectually developed and they haven't had as much time to basically cook ideas.
The reason why is because it would challenge authority. It would challenge the authority of the guy. So like, to expand, right? If the more successful a woman is compared to the man will get ideas of, why do you even need me? And that creates a bad situation in terms of the relationship.
Right?
Yeah.
But the reality is that if you
I'm not wrong. I'm not. I'm telling the truth. People will say, "Wow, Leaflit, that's a fucking awful thing that you're saying. That's terrible." I don't give a shit. I'm telling you like the actual truth. That's actually how it is.
Or online, and
for, again, most people, there are outliers out there. Obviously, there are outliers in women. There are outliers in men, and like what things that they value. Very obviously, but this is more of like the typical, like most people, normies, I suppose. Why, Carney, thank you so much for the 100. It's not about being opinionated, but being overly argumentative. Well, I think intellect has something to do with it too. I think so. I think there is some truth to the idea that men would be uncomfortable around a woman that knew too much. I think that's true for the most part. There are cases in which like it would be a benefit though. So it kind of depends. But I think on the initial it's bad. But in the long term it's good, I think. Like I think like it's kind of what Precure says, is that it would be it's harder to be the more dominant person if in the household if the man isn't as smart. Yeah, basically. So like for most people, it would be hard to have that kind of relationship, I think. And it wouldn't be as attractive. Like it will, at the very minimum, it isn't a necessity for attraction. Right? So like that would be like the absolute best case scenario, I think, is that it is not a factor at all in the attraction.
And watching stuff in a traditional context, guys don't click on videos that 45-year-old women.
She needs to be sane and not too ugly. Not dumb is a bonus too. Yeah, but there's like a certain, I mean, obviously, like, actually, I don't even think that's true even. Because she was like dumb as rocks. Like, I don't think a dude would care. Generally. Unless he specifically valued that as a mating strategy. Like, I'm trying to think, like, some dudes do not care. You'd absolutely care. You see, agrees with my politics is greater than smart, says Kurt Cobain. That's kind of what I was thinking. Are you guys conflating, like, agreeing with your politics to being smart? Simone and Malcolm are a good example, says Limiting Master. Any smart person can... Oh, wait, hold on. Smart women can be good, but smart women can also be trouble. Yeah. Yes. Imagine you have the dumbest bimbo bitch that you can't have a conversation with and you have to be with her most of the day. It's torture. Wait, really? Would that really be torture? Would that be torture if she was like... Okay, see, she was like super fucking dumb. But she was like... You talked to her about something and she was like interested in it. But like... shallowly. And she always asked you to explain stuff to her. I don't think would guys have a problem with like actually? Are you sure? That doesn't seem... Are you guys coping right now? If there was a girl who just loved you unconditionally, but she was like kind of dumb. Like, and she just like anytime you had to talk to her about some stuff, she was just like, and she's like, oh, can you explain this to me? Like, she was like that, but she was like super fucking dumb. You'd put a ring on it. Exactly, that's what I mean. It has nothing to do with it. Like, when you're thinking dumb, you're thinking of like a leftist. That's like completely different. It's not the dumbness that's the factor, I don't think. I think the issue is the issue's not the dumbness. The issue is her disagreeing with you. That's what I'm saying. Not all dumbs are created. Well, that's the point. Wait a minute. You guys are actually agreeing with my point then. Guys, would you a female Talzito? No, because a female Talzito would be disagreeing with you all the time. Different cultures value intelligence differently because they have different roles in the relationship. Puritans value intellectual discussions, but if you like tomboys, then she doesn't have to be smart. Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, obviously, I'm not speaking of every single person, obviously, right? Right, Peter, I'm not talking about every single guy. Obviously, some guys will value certain things more in the same way that some guys are into like big titty waifus, and then some guys don't like big titty waifus and they want like kind of a more petite waifu. It's the same thing. Obviously, there's a variance in what people like, right? But what I'm saying is I think on average, I don't think it's considered a premium stat for most people. That's the point I was making. All right, anyway.
Okay?
Yeah.
You just don't. You see a 45-year-old woman most of the time and you're just going to be like, probably not. Like, that's not like, you see a hot young girl with some edgy take and you're...
Ronar, thank you so much for the bits, by the way. Men like the authority in the relationship, feeling the woman needs him, but she's not challenging authority, and she is cute, hot. It is high tier woman for the average man. Everything else is tertiary at best. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Thank you, Termisigal, for the 90 as well. Thank you.
You're like, okay, it's not like you see a hot young girl with some edgy take, and you're like, okay, yeah, I'll see what she has to say. And so, and this is even talking about people with the genetics to look hot, right? Like not being born in the top. And a lot of guys know how hard this is, right? Like being looked over by such a huge percentage of women, right? But a lot of guys, they're like, look, it's not my fault that I was born short. It's not my fault that I was born looking like this.
Is this true, guys? Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't influence my morals. It doesn't influence my character. I mean, your genes do influence all that, and some of that stuff can be seen through sort of like phrenology and on your face. And okay, yes. Watch our episode. Phrenology is back, baby. But this is like AI. It's look at your face and tell your personality like incredibly accurately.
Yeah.
But
well, even your political leanings.
Yeah. But it's not these. So when I say this, like, it's a huge chunk, like 95% of women got filtered out of the ability to intellectually participate or have their ideas taken seriously in the wider conservative scene.
Yeah.
And then something happened. People have been putting themselves to models for ages, right? But some geniuses had the idea of making the models that they were putting themselves to hot anime girls. And this was really the hack.
I think I'm just a regular anime girl. I think I'm just a regular anime girl, like, to be honest. I don't think I'm a hot anime girl. I think you're just a regular one.
That blew the doors open, where now, and you actually see this. So if you look into leading conservative...
Wait, you're adorable? Wait, really? Wait, really?
Intellectual influencer women, I'd say most of them seem to be between like 32 and like 48 seems to be the age range.
Nice.
Which is a
Wait,
lot
what?
of intellectual influencer women. I'd say most of them seem to be between like 32 and like 48.
Tells it Icarus, thank you so much. Thank you.
Seems to be the age range,
Nice.
which is a lot older than a lot of people think that they are, right? Because they associate anime with youth, but they have been able to, and I'll note that this is also the age of their effing audience, right? Like Kirsha's audience is.
I'm like literally 2 years old in Faye years, okay? We have a different scale of time, okay? It's like I could live 2,000 years, okay, guys?
Is guys in their 30s, okay? I bet you anything. I do not think, for example, Kirsha has a giant youthful audience, right?
Yeah, like my aunt is like my aunt is like 2,000 years old, man.
And they'll often reveal this on stream if you watch.
When LoL came out, when League of Legends came out, I was 17, Leaf.
Right, you know, they'll call themselves like mom. Actually, I think that this has led to there's been a huge explosion in the attraction to older women phenomenon among like Gen Z, like being into cougars. And I think a lot of it comes down to them getting really into VTubers and then learning the VTubers' real age.
What?
And
what?
Among explosion, you know, they'll often reveal this on stream if you watch them, right? You know, they'll call themselves like mom. Actually, I think that this has led to there's been a huge explosion in the attraction to older women phenomenon among like Gen Z, like being into cougars. And I think a lot of it comes down to them getting really into VTubers and then
Hey, yo, chat, is it
learning
real?
the VTubers' real age.
Oh, wow.
And many VTubers lean into this. Like one I watched that has like a cockroach girl.
Okay, chat. I need to tell you something. This is very important. You need to listen to me. This is very important, okay, chat? I will never date you, like, ever. The reason I'm saying this is because I want you to find a girl and have kids, okay? So, like, don't wait on me or anything like that. It's never gonna happen. Okay, I just need that to be clear that that's not the kind of thing that we have here. Okay, I'm just making sure you know that.
Avatar. Many VTubers lean into this. Like one I watched that has like a cockroach girl avatar. I haven't watched many. I've watched like two
Cute
streams.
cockroach girl or
What?
cute?
Cute, yeah, cute. They're always cute.
You're kind of wearing a cockroach vest, honestly, with
Yeah,
all the
right?
antenna on it. Just let me take those off for the love of God. Anyway, though.
But she leans into the whole mommy thing. For,
Wow.
like, audiences that are, I guess, into that.
For hundreds of years, young men have been sexually inaugurated by mature women. This is not new.
Yeah. Well, maybe what is new is I don't ever think so many young men had parasocial and intellectually admiring relationships.
Oh yeah, with older women. That is true.
When I grew up, there were you watch shows online and you might get like a Bill Nye like figure, right? But you didn't have an equivalent female figure, right? Like,
well, most older age mentorship is same sex within religions and even just in mainstream culture with like Big Brothers, Big Sisters programs.
But female hosts who, like when I was growing up, they might be paired with a 30, 40-year-old guy, but that's the female host was typically.
I don't know. I see a lot of people like Freera, and that bitch is fucking old. She's way older than me.
Late 20s to early 20s. And I think people didn't realize that that's what they were seeing.
Yeah.
And this has a lot of effects on the entire community. First effect that it has is that, well, and also I'll note here, when this really exploded, I think, into the mainstream conservative scene was the Anna Valens controversy, which we did some really interesting episodes on. This was a woman who decided that she was going to counsel Kirsha and Leaflit, and it blew up on.
Hey, that's me.
The Anna Valens controversy, which we did some really interesting episodes on. This was a woman who decided that she was going to counsel Kirsha and Leaflit, and it blew up on her, and she had the most crazy life. Like, she has a detailed Substack about her life that we go over in the Life of a Cenobite episode, and it's like, wow, like,
it's a good
this
episode.
Is not like
Life of a Cenobite.
What's going on
recommend
here,
that one.
But the point being is that, well, hold on, before I get to this point, I do want to point out this hack of hot female avatar really opening the stage to the types of people who can influence the space. Arguably, the number one VTuber, I think HoloLive is bigger right now, is Neurochama.
I love her.
Neurochama is an AI anime.
It is so ridiculous, by the way, the amount of people that like Nero and they hate AI at the same time, and they will openly say on their thing, like, oh, I fucking hate anyone that uses AI, and they're like, but I love Nero. Like, shut the fuck up. Shut up.
Girl child who's run by a guy. One of the leading female archetype VTubers in the online right space is Rev Says Desu, which is a guy that doesn't even use a voice changer. By the way, people have asked why he does a little vampire girl as his character. He's like, because that's something I like to look at, right?
Even, oh my god, even Malcolm said it's a little vampire girl. Which is like really funny considering like all of the stuff.
Like
right
a lot of
now.
guys play female avatars in games because
I want to look at
incredible
avatars in video games. Like hugely prefer to play female avatars in video games because I don't want to look at some burly guy for 20 hours. I find that off-putting.
Which
I wonder
just
So wait, is it actually less gay to have a female character in the game? Is that less gay or more gay? Less gay?
disturbs me about him so much is that his voice sounds way too much like the voice of the guy in Clownfish TV, and so I just confuse them. And
Simone has a conspiracy that Clownfish
It's-
TV and Rev says Desu is the same guy.
they're
She
definitely
believed it for a
different.
while.
No, I believed it for a while. I listened enough to be like, nah, they're slightly different, but they're too close for me. It just still throws me off. Now I can't listen to either of them. Just sad.
Yeah. Also, by the way, Clownfish TV, just to put a mark on another conservative influencer channel, is quite interesting to me in that one, they're one of the
Think of the inverse from my perspective. Guess I'm gay.
only other like good relationship couples I know that do channels together. Other
Thank
than
you for
us.
the bits.
Too, they live in Pittsburgh.
Thank you for the bits. I always used female because of the myth that they have smaller hitboxes.
Pennsylvania, so I would love to collab with them at
Oh
some
my
point.
god.
But they live
Let's
near
go to a theme park with them.
they live near Pittsburgh, so that's like on the other side of the moon in Pennsylvania
Boo.
terms. But the other interesting thing is they've sort of risen more recently, and they
What's up, Elijah?
represent again, I think, a faction of conservatism that just didn't exist before. Like they're new on the conservative side. I don't even think that they admit that they are Republicans yet. Like recently, he's like, "Well, I'm not going to talk about what my politics are," because I think he's still, and they talk about seeing themselves as like hardcore Democrats, even if you go like 10 years ago, right? So they definitely are part of like this new faction. But anyway, I wanted to point that out, that this hack isn't just available to women. And we don't even know how many of these VTubers are, like if they haven't had an accidental face reveal, how many of them are men using voice changers. So that's also an important thing
Yeah.
to keep
Well,
in
but what about the, as Shiwanhead puts it, the blue Jew? Nux. He's not
Nux.
a
The
hot
blue
anime girl.
Jew.
Oh, he is not a hot anime girl, and I don't think he needs his avatar. But what I have heard is Nux, when he doesn't use his avatar, is not as bold
Really?
or as
Interesting.
aggressive or as
I
jocular.
guess that is
You
true.
know, like his character is like super in your face, and I think that
So
being
kind of
able
puts
to
him in
hide
character.
behind that.
Yeah,
Um,
like it's good. It's necessary for him as a psychological mechanism, not the audience.
Yeah, the other thing to note that helped women get into VTubing is that otherwise wouldn't have had their voices, is girls are shyer than guys are on average. They are more sensitive to public judgment, and people
not
judge
true.
girls on
It's not true. It's not true.
their looks
I'm not
very
sensitive.
aggressively.
Well, and,
So-
it hurts them more. To be
And it
judged
hurts
on their
them
own.
psychologically more.
Yeah.
So even girls who otherwise would come across as perfectly fine, right? Like maybe even in the top 5-10% of women, right? That they can still be filtered out because they psychologically cannot deal with the heat of being in front of people.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Leaflit probably falls into this category.
Fuck! Man, the timing on that was crazy. What the fuck?
She's a very, like, if you see her, it probably falls into this category. She's a very active people.
Yeah.
Leaflit probably falls into this category. She's a very, like, if you see her streams, she's somebody who really lets things get to her. I think a lot more than, like, as somebody who considers her a friend, then I would like her to, right? But I could see her being very sensitive about a bunch of people constantly judging her, right? And being able to put on a mask every time you get on screen. As Asmongold said, it's like makeup, but like up to 11, right? You know?
Is that true? Is that true? I think it's a little less so now, but like definitely like last month. Definitely last month, I'd say it was true. But I think nowadays, I don't think it's as true anymore. What do you guys think? Last month was rough, man. Like, dude, last month was terrible. Like, I'm just being real. But like, I think now, I care a lot less about what other people think. But before, definitely. Before dude, it was so bad. And like even then, when I say it was bad, I think and see here's the thing like that kind of really makes me think about it, like in terms of like what Malcolm's saying is even last month I still would have considered myself much more tanky than most women. And like last month still crushed me. Right? So like I feel like now I'm like really, really tanky. I'm like way more tanky than before. Like I kind of like I got like a new what do you call it? New class change, you know?
Is constantly judging her, right? And being able to put on a mask every time you get on screen as
the funny thing about that is I literally used to use I have this emote that I used to put up, and like maybe Julio or Crazy, whoever's editing this, will put it up. But I used to do this emote, or there's an emote of like Rimuru putting like his mask on, and every time I started stream, I would like if I was in the middle of talking to somebody and I had to go stream, I would end the conversation by posting the gif of Rimuru putting his mask on, like right before he like fucking nukes all those dudes. He puts like a mask on, and I would always post that.
As McGold said, it's
and like it's like I said like a couple streams ago, like I make it a point. I made it a point to like stop doing that. I use like a pretty cure image instead now.
Like makeup, but like up to 11, right? You know, helps her interact with the community without needing to worry about judgment of any.
You need a healer boyfriend. No, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. I need a tank. No, I think I need. Actually, I think I need a mage. I think I need a mage. Actually, I think that would be the most compatible.
Anything other than her character and her ideas, and that's important.
So thank you for the 1,000. Thank you. Insert heartwarming message.
About a bunch of people constantly judging her, right? And being able to put on a mask every time you get on screen, as McGold said, it's like makeup, but like up to 11, right? You know, helps her interact with the community without needing to worry about judgment of anything other than her character and her ideas. And that's important to note in conservative communities. A woman goes up there and she says some idea that's uncomfortable to you, or some idea you don't like. This may not be for you, but for a chunk of the conservative
Stellar
community,
humanism.
The initial reaction is to criticize her looks.
Yeah.
That's so true. That's actually so true. They do that all the time on the internet, dude. It's crazy.
It really is. Like we can say all we
He's so right here. It's so true.
want about women bad, but this is something that just
No, it's 100% true.
happens. They'll criticize her looks. They'll criticize who she slept with.
It's like it's like your looks. It's like you sound like shit. Your character is like shut up, like you know, your freaking lowly character, like all sorts. It's always like that.
They'll criticize, you know, like, and not that somebody shouldn't be accountable for their sexual history, but that doesn't necessarily inform their ideas, right? But this is something that girl.
What happens last month's relief? There was like a cancellation campaign on it. It was like a bunch of shit.
Influencers get that boy influencers don't get, right? So it's another thing that was filtering them out. So what has been able to happen largely because Anna Valen.
Tiramisu Gold, thank you for that 100. Thank you so much. I remember the saying, be careful what you wish for, when I was younger, and I wanted to be like my mom, almost as it was a prophecy. I face challenges in my life. I see you, and remember your Tempest is simpler, not just because you're both slimes, but because of the idiots attacking your village. That's apparently what AI thinks about me too. AI says that I'm most like Rimuru. Which, like, I wouldn't have thought that originally, but, like, I kind of do think that now. I think it's pretty accurate.
Pushed a number of female...
oh, there's one? Let me look. Sorry. Cream Monarch, thank you for the 500. Leaf wants to be a healer, but the truth is she loves to pull aggro. Yeah, you know how like Asuna is a healer in like Sao, but she always ends up meleeing? That's kind of how I feel like with me. I think I kind of relate to that.
VTuber that girl influencers get that boy influencers don't get, right? So it's
Sao
another
had healers? Yeah, she's a healer in like their main game, which is Alfheim.
thing that was filtering them out. So what has been able to happen largely because Anna Valens pushed a number of female VTubers into the cultural center of the conservative wing.
Dude, that's actually true. Anna Valens like hating on people, it's like it was such an own goal if you think about it. That's fucking hilarious, actually.
This is actually a fascinating phenomenon with the right, where, especially the new right, like the internet right, where we sort of determine who we trust and who we consider like, okay, you can influence this community by how much progressives crash out about them. Like Scott Alexander,
That's actually
Star
true.
Codex, becoming like a mainstream intellectual who like right-wing people often cite these days. Really, that's weird because I don't think he considers himself right-leaning, but the New York Times crashes out about him and people are like, okay, there might be something to this. The New York Times thinks this guy is the demon. Okay. Or the Kirsche, Leaflit, etc. situation. I think a lot of people saw the anime VTuber conservative influencer types with a lot of suspicion before the crash out happened. And after the crash out, I was like, oh, okay, they're chill. They're chill. they angered them enough. Repsid Desu is a bit the same way. I mean, a guy who does streams as a little anime girl, people, you think it'd be more, I think at the beginning people were more suspicious about that, but enough leftists have crashed out about him that mainstream within at least the online right, people are just like, oh yeah, Repsid Desu, yeah, he's the mainstream member of the community. Yeah, a lot of them dress like foxes. I've got to be like, there's like 4 foxes.
True. It's so true.
Girls.
A flaming paradox.
Oh shit.
Likes intellectual over sexual, but we wanna keep it respectable. No fox given. I lit the flame I was given. Ring ding ding, what does the fox say? Truth, yip yap, nothing fake. Okay, simple symbiosis, yeah, you know the way.
Foxes are cute.
What is his name? Skybrows did a new anime video called Fox You or something.
Oh my gosh, I have to watch it. Okay.
It's one of my favorite songs, and it's about Fox girl VTubers. I think because everybody who knows Skybrow videos mostly focus on cultural, conservative cultural influencers. And the fact that he was able to put together an entire video just on Fox girl VTubers shows how big this phenomenon is of
Cheers to go. Thank you for the 100. One fox girl loves the No Fox Given song, but dislikes her appearance in it because she looks like a slut. Well, I mean, it's like bunny girls and stealing, foxes and slutting. You know, it's not right.
Conservative, furry influencers. I know we can say that Kirsche is not a furry influencer, but I mean, she technically is. Also, intellectually, an interesting thing about this community is they rarely play into a character for their VTubing. What I mean by this is Kirsche's.
I kind of do.
Like when I think
kind of do, and so does Rana, at least a little bit.
VTuber.
Rana more so than me.
Bostonian grew up lower middle class because of her accent that she always goes into.
This video is so Irish. Good. It's really fun, right? I love their videos. That
is my assumption.
We still have like 30 more minutes.
Because I guess I'm racist against Bostonians. I do not think Fox Girl. Like her being a Fox Girl like never comes up. In Leaflit's videos, for example, Leaflit's character is a slime girl, right? Literally, not even
not technically.
Chimera of a slime girl and.
Wait, what? What? Wait, what?
For example, Leaflit's character is a slime girl, right? Literally, not even.
I'm half fae.
In my remotely evoked
chimera of a slime girl and fae.
She knows the lore? She actually got it right.
So
Yeah.
fairy.
No, my race is actually chimera. It's here. Look, I'll show you. So if you go into like the rulebook and you go to races, the races are divided into 5 categories. These are the actual 5 races. So chimera is the actual race, and then the sub race is slime. The sub race is slime off of it.
Literally, not even in my remotely evoked
chimera of a slime girl and Faye. So
yeah,
fairy.
That's true. And Faye.
Yeah,
She said
which
and
is
Faye. Oh my god, dude. Oh my gosh, she got it so perfect.
to say that, but it doesn't come up for her. Like when I think Leaflit, I think, you know, somebody who's very warm and caring.
Holy crap. What? What?
But it doesn't come up for her. Like when I think Leaflit, I think, you know, somebody who's very warm and caring and very interested in what's actually true in a way that is still sort of kind, which is interesting. That's like her thing as a conservative.
Is that my thing? Is that my thing, chat? Lore question from Zerg. Would a slime enthusiast be considered a furry if a slime is cast as a monstrous creature? Maybe, I don't know. Is that true? You guys think that's it? All right, here, let me hear it again.
Leaflit, I think, you know, somebody who's very warm and caring and very interested in what's actually true in a way that is still sort of kind, which is interesting. That's like her thing as a conservative influencer.
Is that
right?
my thing?
But
dude, the left would hate that description of me. They'd hate it.
This isn't true of like normal VTubers, by the way. A lot of VTubers actually play into their characters a lot. Why this didn't happen in the conservative intellectual scene? Freaking heck if I know. Maybe they just forgot. Maybe they VTube so much they forget that they're supposed to be doing an in-character thing, or maybe they've sort of dropped being in character, right? Because the point for them is, well, now I can be in a world where my ideas really win on their own.
Thank you.
Because you don't really win on models anymore in VTuber.
That is
you buy
your
some
thing.
big expensive
Thank
rig,
you.
that's not going to get you a lot of views. It's your ideas and your personality, which is going to get you views.
Yeah.
But what this has essentially done is introduced a female intellectual perspective into the generator, which is the internet, of emerging right-wing culture. And it has placed a huge finger on which faction those women happen to be in of the various factions of the right. As we pointed out, there's obviously the right's old guard. There's the Groypers, who are really basically leftists at this point. They never vote, right? But they're sort of.
Oh man, see, dude, this is why Malcolm is fucking awesome. Like Malcolm is more awesome. They just say it how it is, man.
But they're notable for a number of things,
true.
right? They're typically far more critical of Israel. They're far more likely to be deontologists. They're far more likely to be pro-censorship. They're far more likely to not like nerdy hobbies like anime and video games and stuff like that.
That's true. And Nick Fuentes just hates anime.
And they are a meaningful faction of the right. The Groyper.
Which is like kind of weird, because like, didn't he originally like anime? Didn't he used to like talk about it, and then now he's like he hates it or something? Interesting. Thank you, Hex, for the bits. I mean, everyone has said that you were so patient during the debate. I think that would qualify. I've seen a lot of people say I was really mean during the debate, and that I didn't care about like understanding the other person. Like I don't think that was true, but like I've seen a lot of people say that about me on Next. Dark says warm, caring, slime fey woman of the truth. Thank you, Dark.
Adjacent, right? This deontologist, anti-Israel,
Was comments from the other
stuff.
side? No, I saw a lot of that from like centrist to right people.
You know, like your Matt Walsh would probably an example of a more mainstream one like that, where he crashes out about stuff like anime and
does he?
I don't know, like
he doesn't like anime.
Oh yeah, he has multiple crash outs about how anime is like destroying the
True.
country and how
Lord.
like right that like what it's like it gives me the ick if I'm gonna be honest. Like even if I didn't like anime, I don't need to like
True.
be
Me too, man.
criticizing other people. He sees it as like un-American, and I'm like, Hollywood is un-American.
True.
Anime is one of the last places where I can watch a show that's not filled with woke messaging.
Thank you. Holy shit. I've been saying this for so long. Holy
Some
crap.
of the time, right?
Tiramisu Gold, thank you for the 100. Oh my gosh, we came from Miss Powder Stream and we didn't know we were getting ourselves into. Man, you have the patience of a saint. You're the kindness on there. The guy kept changing the subject, kept pushing the goalpost. I was irritated the fuck out of this. The second time I was actually rage quitted. Damn.
But the nature of VTubing, this is the type of girl who is open to presenting herself to the world as an anime girl or as a literal furry like Kirsha or something like that,
me.
right? Like, or the other dozen
Not
conservative
me.
Fox girls.
Not me.
God, I can't remember. There's another one that I quite like, but I can't remember her name. She's the one with the, she's got like a blue bow or something. I don't know. There's your white hair, I want to say. Anyway, these other ones.
White hair, blue. Is that powder? Isn't powder's... Welcome, thank you for the 100. Anime in Hollywood is a clear example that the country can bounce back after getting nuked, but the woke virus will eat it from them from the inside. Mm-hmm.
They are intrinsically not going to be in that faction. They are in the post-Gamergate faction. This is a faction that is used to fighting censorship. It might be like, oh, furries are weird, but like, I'm not gonna like go out of my way to attack somebody for being a furry. Like, and obviously you're not. If your core presentation to the world is as a fox girl or a slime girl, you're not gonna go on a 10-minute rant about why everybody who watches anime is bad.
That's
or
true.
Why deontological value systems are good. I don't know why these things. Well, actually, this is actually interesting. Why do these things pair so much? Why is it that the deontologists pair so much with the people who are pro-censorship? I think the answer is that...
Thank you, Hex, for the 100. I thought you were incredibly fair. It was just that you were debating someone who can't perceive breakfast. Yeah, it was rough because I couldn't get like past like kind of... Yeah, I don't know. Like, what I think I have to do maybe in the future is just... I don't know, like frame things better. It's hard to, I don't know. I feel like... Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I think censorship only performatively addresses sin, and deontologists care more about the performance of the...
This actually aligns with their views on things like race as well, whereas we point out that they're trying to sow divisions within the Republican Party over things like race or religion are stupid because we wouldn't be able to build up enough of a base to win elections if we alienate those people. A lot of these people want to be able to put the blame, because they don't want to take responsibility from it as a community to themselves, on some external groups. So they choose some group like Jews, and they're like, Jews are the ones that are spreading all of this. And it's like, it's clearly not the case if you look at just the reality of the situation. It is mostly white women. It is white. That is true. Upper class.
Like in terms of like in America.
Women.
I mean, like in terms of like like cultural, like like, okay, so like even if it were the case, right? Like let's like take the theory that a lot of the proponents of like all of the bad stuff were of that ethnicity. The people really spreading it though are, he's not wrong about the people who are actually spreading it.
who are spreading this and who are the ringleaders of this. It is not some external group. It is coming from inside the house. And they're like, well,
even if the idea origin is from, yeah, that tracks. Yeah. What he's saying is true.
If people voted like me, then we could build up enough of a base. And it's like, yeah, but the problem is the majority of white people are against our goals. I mean, this is just the reality of it. And yet we can find Hispanic people, over 50% of Hispanic men in the last election voted for Trump. We can find huge chunks of black people. We can find huge chunks of Jewish people. And yes, huge chunks of Indian people who are interested in our goals. And so if you play in this fantasy world where you can get all white people to agree with you, sure, but that's not the world we actually live in. And we live in a world where we actually want to win elections and where we actually want to push back on the existential threat the urban monoculture plays. And functionally, if you are concerned about declining white populations, which, by the way, isn't actually happening. White people have a higher fertility rate than almost any other ethnic group when you control.
Yo, EXCount, thank you for the raid, man. Thank you. And also, Hacks, thank you so much for the 100. For anyone that helped because it's individual, because you can verbalize or conceptualize what you didn't understand intuitively. Yeah, I mean, that was the problem, right?
For income, and so then almost any other ethnic group when you control for income. And so, like, for example, the United States, they have a much higher fertility rate than the black population. But so the only...
That's because they kill like 40%. 40% of black babies are killed before they're born.
Way in which they're being, quote unquote, outbred.
It's like an insane number.
Is if you go to places like Africa.
Oh, he's accounting for that? Okay.
Where there's desperate poverty, or some places in the Middle East where there's desperate poverty. But even if you do conceptually care, like you're like, well, even though they have a high fertility rate, I want their...
Is it closer to 60%? Holy shit.
Fertility rate to be higher. I want there to be a higher proportion of the world's population. The only way to handle that, it doesn't matter where they live, it's having kids, right?
Holy shit, 60% chance it gets spawn camped? That's awful.
We are like Korea, and we have virtually no immigration, but we have an extremely low fertility rate. We've done nothing, like even if all you care about is increasing the white population, you've literally done nothing. You've done nothing that can have a chance of mattering in the long term. And yet almost all of the leaders of this movement have no children, and they often push their followers to not form relationships because I think they realize that white women are the source of the problem. And so they're like, well, of course you want to have white kids, but you don't want to get in a relationship with a white woman. And so we'll just pretend that we're trying to actually fix things. And if you try to blow up coalitions where you won't even side with somebody like J.D. Vance, who is both Catholic and anti-Iran war, and you're just like, he's the devil, yet he's as close to your position as there could be a mainstream figure, just because he's in an interracial relationship or because he's friends with gay people. Like,
dude, this is what I was saying too. Is that we're so stuck on this fucking Puritan ass shit that we're gonna fucking lose again. Like we've been doing this. Like the right are like so good at fighting over retarded shit.
Peter Thiel.
It's actually unreal.
You've created a coalition that simply cannot win elections. And this is what we mean by it's a performative coalition, not a coalition that's actually designed to advance the aims they, from a consequentialist perspective, pretend they're trying to advance. Yeah. This reminds me of a comment in a recent video, because I was talking about, how you need to learn to make yourself immune to the sirens, not hide from the sirens, because they are so ubiquitous in our environment right now, the calls to sin all around us, and not, overly freak out about like this random arousal pattern or that random arousal pattern. And somebody's like, oh, I don't know, there's some really deranged stuff online, and that I think Malcolm's just trying to like white competitors out of the gene pool. What is it, like a mate blocking or something, right? And it's like, no, like I'm just being consequentialist. The reality is that if you get to an extent where it interferes with your life, tripped up by the online environment of today, which, you know, doesn't even have what your children will be fighting against, which is, you know, fully lifelike, animated in real time, the most beautiful woman they've ever seen, right? That's reacting just to them. There's no way your genes are going to make it for 2 or 3 more generations, right? Like I could try my best. Like I understand that there's genetic variance in humanity, and just because I'm not like tempted out of my mind by something doesn't mean that somebody else isn't. But there's just no way. There's no way. Obviously, what you can do to resist this stuff is naltrexone, right? Like naltrexone plus the Sinclair method with, like, if you feel overly called to,
it's like a stimulant. Oh, what's the word for it? It's not stimulant. Sorry, it's an inhibitor. It's an inhibitor drug.
To a sin to an extent that it is taking up all your time or destroying your life or leading you down a pathway that is like really messing with you. Naltrexone can help with that, right? And it's also got positive side effects too. And you can get it fairly inexpensively from countries like India and stuff like this. So it's like, you know, there are alternatives, but banning is not a very good one, because as I've said before, as soon as you ban, then VPNs are on the table. Banning VPNs are on the table. And when you ban VPNs, then the government controls your thought and what you can say and do. And the UK is already seeing this, you know, be tabled.
That's a really good argument against VPN banning, is that like it does allow the government to control your thoughts.
Because they allowed these parts of their right to gain so much power that they were able to work with the left to ban this stuff. And they're like, oh, well, you know, everyone can agree that any form of pornography where it looks like somebody being hurt should be banned. And so then they ban all of that. And then it's like, oh, well, now we need to ban VPNs, because they don't care about actual violence. I mean, look at the UK right now, right? It's an actual hellscape right now.
That's true.
But what this means is this like post Gamergate faction, the nerd right, is gaining disproportionate dominance because of more than they otherwise structurally would, because there isn't the same outlet for the other side of the right to gain eyes through this hack. And what's interesting is it's not like there aren't VTubers in this other side of the right. One that I watch occasionally dresses up, and he's not even like that. He's never said anything that I disagreed with, but I assume that he's part of the deontologist faction of the right because he dresses up as like a knight with like a red cross, like a crusader, and
What's
he like
Tactical
bounces
Templar?
on screen. He does like different like crusader outfits and stuff.
Is that
not
Tactical
a full
Templar?
VTuber thing, but I like his channel. Like, it's important to note that there's a number
Tactical
of
Templar mentioned.
people in the more deontological faction of the right who I still quite like in terms
Yo,
of
I gotta send this to him.
content producers and agree with. Another one would be Redeemed Zoomer, I think, is in this faction. And I quite like his content. Static in the Attic. He's even in the anti-Israel faction, right? And he produces quite good content. So like, obviously our factions can get along. I think a lot of people in that faction watch our episodes and get something from it. But like,
He's in your Discord too?
We still
Who?
realize that
Templar? Oh
good
yeah, Templar.
content.
I
So
talked
like,
to Templar.
obviously our factions can get along. I think a lot of people in that faction
He's
watch
pretty cool.
our episodes and get something from it. But like, we still realize that our goals for where the right is going are at odds. Like we're clearly on the same team, but we have different visions for where we want this team to go in the long term and what sort of policy we want to see on the books. And that the right is becoming the party of the nerd at sort of its core is in part driven by VTubing unlocking becoming an influencer for a very specific type of person.
Is that me? Am I that specific?
And that's the person who's done it. Like, if you look at, this is the other thing about the VTubers who have come onto the scene through this avenue, just to highlight the two that Anna Valens tried to cancel, Kirsha and Leaflit. Kirsha's content is some of the densest, deepest research that you get on on
That's true.
I don't know if have you ever watched her content?
That's true.
Simone?
Her content is
No, not
crazy.
really.
So she does like 2.5 hours where she will take a topic and like try to pull up all of the receipts to try to find like, okay, where does this rope go? Like how deep does she's where I first learned about like Joe Money or something like that. Like
basically autism.
What is all of
wow.
the things that John Money did? How did this get covered up? How did this, for people who don't know, this is the guy who invented.
I think they fear the new wave of conservatives. Compare quartering to Leaf. The quartering shows sponsors in the face of the viewer, and Leaf does advertise, but she doesn't shove it in her face. Well, I mean, like, I don't have to, right? Like I don't know, like I only really try to take sponsorships that like actually are things I really like. I try to, at least.
The concept. How did this get covered
Doesn't always
up?
pan
How
out,
did
but,
this,
you
for
know.
people who don't know, this is the guy who invented the concept of gender and transness more broadly in a modern context, who did these horrifying experiments on children. Genuinely horrifying. Watch your episode if you care to learn more about that. But like, so she'll dig really deep on something like that, or look for receipts, sort of like a Nick, you know, this young investigative guy, but
Literally.
like a bit before that. I mean, that requires a nerd to be into doing. Leaflit's core thing that I think that she's like most known for is
All right, Chad, is this true? Is this true?
trying to be as genuinely warm, empathetic, and open into whatever topic that she's covering. And that,
Well, also not taking, she doesn't fall for anything.
No, she doesn't
which I
fall
think is
for
important.
anything either.
I almost did.
She's open without being, what's the word I'm looking, like, foolish about it, right?
Mhm.
But it is a female perspective that she takes. You could not emulate Leaflet's perspective, at least within right-wing spaces, as a guy.
So what you're saying is that because basically intellectually mature women have unlocked access to a platform online, they've shifted the Overton window of the right? Is that the gist of your argument?
Leaflet's a girl. Let me check. Yeah.
Curing a shift in the Overton window of the right that was already happening. So much of the new right came out of, because remember, I part of the pathway that led to it was hating on feminists, is I sometimes call it like the red pill diaspora, right? Like when the red pill collapsed and Reddit shadow banned it and everything like that, a lot of the influencers from that space, a lot of the pickup artists and stuff like that, they went out there and they became, well, right-wing intellectual influencers. And that would have pushed, like, there is very little intellectual overlap between anything that Kirsha and Leaflit do with what a pickup artist influencer does, right? Like, these are two, they wouldn't have been in that world at all. They wouldn't have found that interesting. They wouldn't have tried to be a female version of that, or tried to be, and yet it's the former fans of these pickup artist influencers who are now being influenced by people like Kirsha and Leaflit, which changes the intellectual character of the modern right. And what's really interesting is it does it in a way where you don't see as much of an equivalent on the left. And the left, you have a bunch of female and trans influencers. In terms of male influencers that approach things from a masculine perspective, the only one I can think of is Hassan.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess I could see that.
And Hassan's completely disingenuous and cruel, you know, like the dog shocking thing and everything like that. So I think that
dude, everyone knows about it. Everyone knows about it.
Just a thirst trap influencer.
I don't know.
Since when is Hassan masculine? I mean, that's like the aura that he projects.
I mean, that would be true.
He tries to, at least.
The majority of his audience is female, and I haven't ever looked into the composition of his audience.
Oh, it's definitely majority female.
Wait, is it? No way.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. Is that real?
I guess I would have thought, because I watch.
I would say that there probably is a higher percentage of female, but I don't know about majority. But like in terms of like, if you were to take the female audience of like Asmongold, for instance, and compare it to Hassan, I would see that Hassan's is probably way more, right, than Asmon.
A ton.
But I don't know about it being the majority of viewers
or politically affiliated YouTubers who have 90+% female audiences, if not like 98% female audiences. And
wait, what?
Do you watch any male
audiences? YouTubers who have 90+% female audiences, if not like 98% female audiences. And
do you watch any male YouTubers who have 90+% female audiences?
yes,
That's
absolutely.
Which one
Absolutely.
are you thinking of?
Wait, are there?
I mean, a bunch. Philip DeFranco is probably the most well-known one. I watch his news recaps to get an understanding of what the leftist default take to like whatever's happening might be. Yeah, Hassan is different, and I don't.
He might be right. I don't know. I wouldn't think so. I'm kind of talking out my ass. I wouldn't think so that like Hassan would have majority.
Personally see how he appeals to female audiences. So if there is anyone who's female and leftist and watching them, not that I imagine them to be here, please explain this to me if this is a thing in the comments.
No, like actually,
Hassan's audience used to be 70% female. Is that real? Holy shit.
I know.
like send us an email because we might miss it if it's in the comments. Like I'd actually be interested to know why somebody would watch Hassan. Like I've tried his streams and they're really boring.
Well,
Damn.
I mean, I think for the same reason why I struggle sometimes with streams of just pearly things. There's a lot of dead space. There's a lot of just mental fatigue experienced by the streamer that you weirdly don't see with Asmongold. Like he's got a lot of mental endurance to be able to keep even on.
Yeah,
Asmongold
Asmongold's
never
crazy.
seems fatigued. He does have. Well, you know where he built that mental endurance was like 10-hour WoW raids.
Wow. Yeah. That's it.
I think I'm thinking here of like Destiny. Like Destiny, I've listened to some of his content, and he at least appears to be trying to be intellectually serious. Like Hassan doesn't appear to be attempting to tell the truth. He's just
well, and also just Hassan and Hannah Pearl Davis have dead air, whereas I haven't really seen that with Destiny. I haven't really seen that with Nick Fuentes. I haven't really seen that with Asmongold. Maybe in their live streams, you know, because we typically view cut down versions of their content. They show up, but
Hannah Pearl Davis has dead air in her streams, but not on her show. Her show, because her show's like 5 people or whatever, you know, when she does it.
That helps.
But subscriber, by the way, she's a subscriber of ours. So who knows if she's watching this, but you're always welcome to come on the show, by the way. If you ever want to come on, we'd love to have you. We lost a way to contact you when you got kicked off of Instagram. So sorry about that. But
I feel
anyway,
uncomfortable anytime I have dead air. It feels uncomfortable. Like the other times I have dead air sometimes is when I like have to respond to something like an email comes up that's really important, or like someone messages me on Discord, something that's important.
that was the final point I wanted to make here.
Or if I have to think, that's the other thing too. Sometimes I think about something complicated and I just kind of stop talking.
That is interesting. It's been a fascinating change in the right, and it has really consolidated the nerd Gamergate faction.
I'm for it.
It really helps us. Like it, guys, I know you can be like, oh, we don't want all this female energy like in our spaces and stuff like that. We don't want all this nerd energy, right? Like, okay, first of all, the nerds have the future, okay?
That's
Secondly,
true. Also, we fucking saved your asses. All right? You're welcome. You're welcome.
women watch this stuff too. You don't want women, right-wing women, to be influenced to be nerdier, right?
The right would be fucking cooked if it wasn't for nerds. If it wasn't for anime nerds and gamers, it'd be over.
Finally, to win on elections, we have to win with both men and women, right?
Yeah.
Being able to moderate the right's energy and ideas to not be reflexively anti-woman is something that is going to benefit the right enormously. And I like that you helped me do that on this stream, right? Like this is, I don't know how much of our influencers watch other women.
Yeah, I don't know either. I would be curious to know.
Watch other women. I watch like my friends and Ember and Simone. That's really it.
On this, Simone, before we wrap it up.
The babies, they always just have baby on screen.
I think it's a great development. I think that, yeah, there are a lot of just visual elements of people that I think unfairly disqualify them from being taken seriously. And that happens more to women than to men, which is, the baby is adorable. Dude, she's literally psyoping you right now. Like you are literally psyoped right now by the baby. It's like all according to their plan. Unfortunate, because I think that there are women.
You know, they're like huge pronatalists, right?
There
It's a
who have
master
interesting things to say.
psyop.
So this is good.
But you had nothing interesting to say. You don't have a single like unique take on this. Come on, you gotta have.
I don't really see what your point is, aside from because women now can be on the internet behind a mask, they are able to move the Overton window of discourse on the right. Like, okay, am I missing something beyond that?
Well, they are able to move the Overton window of discourse on the right to make right a genuinely two-gender space, which it really wasn't for a while. That's a huge change.
I disagree. I mean, like, half the Fox News commentators have always been hot women.
Didn't really. Fox News didn't have ideas. Like Fox News was just parroting whatever corporate.
Oh, he's specifically talking about like actual like thought creators.
Talking point they were supposed to be talking about that day. That wasn't actually hearing a woman's perspective.
Or are you saying that like because there were people like Tucker Carlson and Alex Jones who would say out there wild things that sparked conversation, and there just weren't female versions of that. There weren't women being like, I'm gonna say something.
Yeah,
crazy
your random
now.
Alex Jones.
That's kind of true though, right? Like, so like take like Kirsha for example. She will have like Kirsha will have takes on like news and stuff like that that a lot of people see like on X. She does start a lot of conversations.
Fan didn't have
100%.
some woman that like all of them would be like, oh yeah, I also listen to her ideas, right? Whereas the you know, if you look at like,
but are they
fans,
saying really out there things that are changing the discourse?
What?
I guess yeah they are. I guess
yeah they are.
Yeah.
No, Kirsha often starts like, because she does the initial research, she often starts things that then become like a viral thing that everyone's covering.
Right. Yeah,
they're
basically,
calling
yeah,
attention to new issues that
she's sort of a top of the pipeline content creator, which trickles down through the rest of the pipeline. So she does specifically significantly influence what's being talked about.
Massive.
But then the second point I'm making is that they also were sort of forced disproportionately into one faction.
I gotta make more shit like that.
Which changes how they influence the right. Because if you're an anime girl, you're not going to crash out about why anime guys who watch anime are all losers.
Yeah, and there were
or gaming, right? That also works with gaming, right? Like if you're a gaming nerd, you're not going to crash out about like gaming being literally the worst and how it needs to be censored and how we need to not have Grand Theft Auto. Like none of that is going to come out of. Yep.
They're going to watch you, so they're not listening to you. You're not influencing them. You're only influencing a different.
No, they might watch you. This is sorry, Simone. You might not know this.
Like there's a ton of people like on the right that. Especially like those kind of you know what I'm talking about, like those like looks maxer like gym bro, like masculine maxer people, those testosterone maxer people, and like they say that like playing video games is awful and it's like super gay. Yeah, they'll say stuff like that. The manosphere, manosphere. They'll basically say that, oh, like anime sucks and like don't watch don't play video games at all. Things like that.
Really like anime. There is a specific
thank goodness,
brand of religious deontology. When I went to like my anime clubs in school and stuff like that, there were always a lot of like conservative religious like homeschool kids. Like I don't know what it is about like this thing. And
good taste, perhaps.
Drop in the comments if you're one of these kids, but that was like a type. The very sheltered, very do good, very like I don't
the
swear.
Manosphere doesn't do that.
I don't watch rated R.
Wait, are you serious? Like I see a lot of people in like that kind of manosphere that are saying like to not play video games at all. And to like, yeah.
Things, but by God, I watch lots of anime.
Yeah. No, it's wonderful. It is.
have fun, Simone. Have a spectacular
That
day.
was awesome.
And thank you for your time.
Glorious.
Yes, hopefully.
Although I discovered that I just needed to somehow, like, the permissions had lapsed. So local file saving doesn't need an app on my Mac after all. That actually, I just needed to go back into my settings.
The manosphere is very anti-anime, anti-gaming, anti-porn.
And make sure that permissions were like
set correctly.
regranted. Yeah, but it seems like maybe it forgets sometimes, or maybe when you like the software update, people's general settings.
The thing is, though, is when excuse me, when it comes to the manosphere, though, it is interesting. No, they're definitely anti-anime and anti-gaming. No, they are. They are, because that to them would be seen as a negative towards getting lots of girls. The hyper-masculine manosphere is just anti-nerd stuff. It is. The manosphere isn't about getting lots of girls. Isn't it about making lots of fucking... Hold on. Because from what I've seen from it, it's like become super high value, have tons of money so that you can get your pick of whatever girl you want. Or you can fuck everybody. Well, I'm like so confused. Like I feel like there's like a disconnect here.
Things just kind of reset.
Because I've seen
like
manosphere content.
Well, I hate that I'm making the agent feature usable on Macs for
Stoicism,
code.
man, but stoicism, male stoicism isn't manosphere. It's not the same thing.
But
because you just don't want to empower anyone who chooses Apple as their provider.
I do not. They deserve every time I have been
Malcolm, they're pretty. Okay, a rejection of Apple is a rejection of.
Wait, the manosphere is about taking care of your body, and the girls are just a bonus. There's no way. That's not right. There's no way. There's no way that's what they say. I don't believe that. It's not about chasing women. Wait, okay, hold on. Are you saying that it's not about chasing women because the women come to you? Because it's kind of the same thing. They warn against dating. I'm like so lost, man. Manosphere is many different groups. MRA, incels, and MGTOW. What is MGTOW? Men going their own way. It's one to spread wisdom of male self-improvement. But isn't that like I wouldn't consider like Jordan Peterson as like manosphere, but like he does that, right? Do people consider Jordan Peterson as manosphere? I'm so confused. I'm so confused.
People everywhere.
This is disconnected from my observation of it.
Including your own wife.
You still use an Apple computer
because it's pretty. Because it's pretty. Don't you?
That's really why.
Thank you, Tiramisu.
Yes, Malcolm.
Thank you
I also
45.
like the haptics. I like the tactile experience of it. I like the smoothness. I mean, give it time, right? Like, I wasn't a really big fan of Samsung phones after I got rid of my iPhone.
Yeah. There's usually like at the end, there's like a little like extra segment at the end where they just kind of random.
But then as soon as I discovered the Pixel, I was like, okay, done. Like,
yeah, because they actually focus on like haptics
They're married.
And experience.
It's a good.
You know what's really funny is I've seen this a lot from people on the right that say that they don't like Malcolm and Simone because they don't love each other. But like, I'm like, what are you talking about? Because like if you watch the videos, you can tell that they very much do love each other, like a lot.
It's a good user experience. It's a good, yeah. I do like the haptics of Pixels, and I, of course, being a heavy Google user, just like that integration. It's so nice. It's so nice.
Oh my God. I mean, Apple's future is I think quite effed at this point.
No, I think they're taking a very smart approach.
Your smart integrated home concept is a good idea.
Yeah.
If we pull it off.
I think they'll pull it off. And they're very good at locking people in to, I think they discovered the power of producing really great individual products that only really work if you buy into the whole suite. For example, consider the AirTag. I do not know of a single other product in terms of like good location. I mean, obviously there's a Tile, but the Tile doesn't even come close to the AirTag in terms of utility. I don't think we can use AirTags without an iPhone, at least last time I checked, because your mom had a bunch and they're super, super useful. They're quite granular in their tracking abilities. And I was like, oh my God, this is great. We finally have AirTags. We can put them in our kids' shoes, because that's what a lot of parents do, like bougie parents. They cut into their kids' shoes under their soles and they put AirTags in there to track them if they like run off at a theme park or something.
That's a good idea.
And
it's an amazing idea.
I discovered you have to have an iPhone for them to work. Same with when they first came out, they were like pretty good for smartwatches. The Apple Watch only works if you have an iPhone. You can't use it if you only have a Mac. So they're going to come out with some really cool smart home devices.
Actually, you gave me an idea for a product.
Like my friend, he is like an iPhone user. He tried switching off of iPhone like one time, and he said it was awful. And then he said he's never gonna go back. He said that all of the other phone users are coping.
To make for RFAB next.
Oh,
because I'm sort of surprised that nobody seems to offer this right now, and it's something that I want. Which is the Alexa and Google speakers we have throughout our house that we use constantly, right?
Yes.
The AIs on them are kind of retarded. I think
they're better than they used to be.
They're better than they used to be, but they're basically retarded compared to real AIs.
Almost all VTubers use iPhones, if you didn't know that. It's because iPhone has much better face tracking than anything else.
I think it would be fun to see if I can get a speaker that just connects to our backend system and lets people choose from any cutting edge mainline AI model to be the responder to them. And to
it'd be cool if there could be an RFAB integration where you can just have your agent be able to use.
Yeah, that's the idea. You have your agent or your companion respond to you through the speaker.
It's going to be like that smart house in Eureka, the show Eureka. Start getting passive aggressive with him. I loved it. I loved that house.
Have you guys seen the clips of the person who made the AI waifu and all she does is talk shit about how much you eat? Like you just eat in front of her and then she just calls you a fat ass.
Yeah, that's a great. Eureka was a great.
She was like, "Oh my God, is that 800 calories? What a fat ass!" It's
great
like,
show,
amazing.
actually.
Yeah,
really.
I love Eureka. This is why when we tried to create a city, we called it Project Eureka.
No, we called it Project Eureka. Actually, if you're watching the show, and you're like, I'm out of backlog things to watch, you can find Eureka for free somewhere. It is old as balls, and it is actually a really.
I think it's unmoored from time enough. Because it's kind of about this isolated science town inspired by the idea of that like government.
The Alamos.
I haven't seen Eureka.
Maybe no, I think it was.
Is this a show? Oh, she's thinking of robots and shit.
Everybody's working on like science experiments all the time.
Yeah, anyone else find it bullshit, by the way, that they had all this shit in like sci-fi? Like, I was promised, fucking cyberware and flying cars, and we don't have any of that shit. It's like unreal. You know what makes me think though is like, how far would we be right now? Like, I feel like we would have full dive right now if it wasn't for all the Quangos. The Quangos just constantly fucking everything up. We should already have that shit.
And
everyone's a genius, but like full families live there. It's I need that.
It was made during that period where you could have a diverse cast that didn't feel like aggressively woke.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, they're people and they're different sometimes. Instead of like, oh, you're part of a quota.
True.
Okay.
But yeah, it was good. And it's got like 9 seasons or something, or like 10 seasons.
Plenty.
You're not gonna...
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and for dinner
Stargate first.
I love Stargate.
Stargate first. Oh no. Well, so the problem with trying to get people into Stargate SG-1 is season 1 for like the first 2 to 3 episodes is terrible.
You did a really good job at like curating it for me. Maybe we just need to create
is it true
for people like to start here.
SG-1 is the best sci-fi show ever made if you watch it curated. But the problem is that somebody needs to give you a curated list of episodes.
You need the director's cut. Yeah.
And the
remember you'd be like, oh, we're just gonna skip this entire arc.
The first 2 episodes, one of the problems is they...
Please don't the full dive. You worry me when you talk like that. Wait, what? Full dive? I want full dive. Wait, you guys don't want full dive? Yo, I got a question. Like real true question here, okay? Would you go full dive if you knew that it was Sword Art Online? And like you knew what was gonna happen? Would you still do it? Kurt Cobain says, yeah, I got a family to feed. That's fair. I feel like family dudes would say no.
Set the scene, but they're also very bad, which creates a problem for the show. Like the way they introduced Samantha Carter's character, where it's like a woman, so everyone expects her to be dumb, but then she's smart, and I like almost groaned out of my chair, like, come on.
But it was a different time, okay? It was also in like women, they don't know how to science.
Actually, if I was going to give people suggestions, even though I think SG-1 is just strictly a better...
Thank you, Depraved Scroll, for the 400. Would definitely do Sword Art Online. If you die, you would have died in any way cooler than I got bit in half by a dragon or something.
Show, I would I would tell like an average person, watch Farscape before you watch SG-1.
The puppet show?
The puppet show.
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't make it through one episode with you.
Really?
No. Oh my god, it was awful. It was so bad.
Wait, what show?
They don't look like
puppets. Farscape. I haven't seen Farscape.
They're Jim Henson, honest to God,
animatronic. Yes.
Yeah, no,
You know what was another sci-fi I saw that was like, actually, never mind. There was another one I saw that was really, really old. It was called fucking Red Dwarf. That shit was like so clown though. Like, to be honest.
I'm not watching the freaking puppet show. All right. It's like watching Fraggle Rock. Okay, we're not doing that.
And then for this one needs the
Watch Firefly. I already saw Firefly. I love Firefly.
Most heavy curation. But for
one of my longest tabletop campaigns where I was a player was a Firefly campaign. It was basically I found out later, but it was like they just redid the story of Firefly. And because they were recruiting people, I remember my friend was recruiting people to be the different character, like kind of different archetypes that were in Firefly. And I was like the girl in the box. I forget like her fucking name, but like that was like my character's archetype, except I had Scryed powers. Like from Scryed.
Of most new ideas, I'd suggest Lex, which is one I didn't even try on you.
Apparently not.
No, it's really it edges into like racy, sex themed humor in an amount that can be cringe, but it also has more interesting ideas in it than the other shows. Like I love the scene where they introduced Earth in it at one point. They're like they go through the classification of the planet, and it means a planet that's about to destroy itself, and they're like, we should just go by, like this is insignificant, right? And that's the way that their AI immediately classifies Earth. as one of these planets is about to be destroyed.
It's a flash in the pan. Yeah.
Well, specifically, they say
this
that
is
we're
a
about
pilot
to
episode. Don't bother. It's not going to get approved.
It doesn't happen until like season 3, that episode or something.
Funny.
So,
Lex, I order you to use every last bit of juice you've got to blow up that ugly blue planet.
As you command.
Do you realize what you just did?
Of course. People on Earth were after my man. If not,
Wait, is this Farscape? Lex. No, what is it's called Lex.
actually, then potentially. So the planet had to be destroyed. Any robot head in my position would have done the same.
790, you are so evil.
Not evil, just obsessed.
No, not just obsessed. You are evil.
but truly
What
a
the
bizarre
hell?
show. If we're talking about, one show I'd really suggest for people. Another,
Oh, you want to know another really old sci-fi I watched? One called Quantum Leap. That one was like on TV all the time. Quantum Leap and like one called Sliders.
I'm just giving suggestions here. Sliders. If you're
I swear to God, this isn't pre-watched. I swear to God, guys. I swear it's not.
want to watch old shows, and I haven't made you watch.
We
the
didn't
Sliders.
watch Sliders together.
Sliders might be easier to get into than any of the shows that I've mentioned as like a first time just sliding in. It's a show where, and I don't know why they haven't made this theme in any other show. Every episode, or about every episode, takes place in a different timeline on Earth. So it's always the same year and the same location, but they go to like communist America. They go to America with a woman president. They go to that's the one where the Hillary Clinton president clip comes from that a lot of people use when she was running for president. They're like, oh, the Clinton's president. And it's like, no, it's
Remember
Hillary.
Sequest DSV? I remember Sequest. Didn't Sequest have like a fucking dolphin that was really smart?
It's funny. Anyway, I'll get into it.
I will link you guys the channel. By the way, if you guys have never seen this channel, let me link you guys the video first. But let me just show you what it is. They do this kind of content where they deep dive, and they're also huge weebs, by the way, but they deep dive all sorts of topics, and they go fucking deep. There's also a Leaflit episode if you didn't know, but they go really deep. Like there's so much stuff. Like look at this. The Jedi canon, the Jedi are controlled by a lying parasite. The Empire did nothing wrong. Dude, it's like the topics are, they basically pick a weird topic and they go like autistic on it. It's like great. Like they go deep on like whatever topic. They take it with utmost seriousness, which is like really cool. And their release schedule, they release episodes all the time and they're like an hour long each. So it's just infinite stuff to like scroll back on and watch.